After spending way too much at Buc-ee's, Roman wants to show us how high his ball can bounce.
Show the video of how high my ball can bounce.
Huh. Now you realize it's at an angle, okay? So it might bounce this way.
Okay, here you
Go get it, go get it, go get it! Hello, and welcome to the Autus Family 2024 Route 66 trip. Today is day 6, covering Springfield, Missouri, crossing a teensy bit of Kansas, and ending in Tulsa, Oklahoma. This day is absolutely packed with stops. We'll hit our favorite travel center of all time, Buc-ee's, get in a Jeep, and drive deep into the Fantastic Caverns. Get forked! Visit a mini town frozen in time. The local waterfall will almost claim my drone. Then, birds will try to kill my drone over a beautiful bridge. A totem tourist trap will try to boot us off their property. We'll see the famous blue whale of Catoosa. And finally, we'll wrap the day with a pint and some mini golf at a Route 66 inspired food hall. Welcome to the non-stop constant stops of day 6. We're here. We made it. The legend, the destination, the journey. Buc-ee's. Founded in 1982 in Texas, Buc-ee's has become a road trip essential, famous for its endless snacks, spotless bathrooms, and beaver-themed everything. We first discovered this place earlier this year during our Dallas trip for the 2024 total eclipse, and it instantly blew us away with its sheer volume of delicious food, quirky branded goods, and the almost unsettlingly happy employees. Suffice to say, the Oklahoma location lived up to the hype. The store layout, product selection, and overall experience were nearly identical, and every snack and goodie we picked up was top tier. If you've been to Buc-ee's, you probably already love it. If you haven't, find out if there's one near you. And honestly, I think it might be worth a 2 to 3 hour road trip just to experience it. After loading up on precious Buc-ee goods, we headed to our second major cavern in the cave state, Fantastic Caverns. Discovered in 1862 by John Knox and his hunting dog, the cave remained a secret for 5 years as Knox kept quiet to prevent its exploitation during Civil War. It wasn't until 1867 that the cave was first explored by none other than 12 women from the Springfield Women's Athletic Club, making them the first recorded spelunkers of Fantastic Caverns. Over the years, the cave has played host to some wildly different guests. From 1924 to 1930, it was a Ku Klux Klan meeting place. Yikes. And then, it was a Prohibition-era speakeasy, and later, a music venue in the 50s and 60s. Today, what truly sets Fantastic Caverns apart is its unique tour experience. Instead of walking, you ride through the entire cave in a Jeep-pulled tram. Once again, the benefits of private ownership are on full display here because there is no way this setup would fly in a federally protected cave. Seriously, gas-powered Jeeps zipping through an underground ecosystem that took millions of years to form? It feels like something straight out of a different era, when regulations were looser and you could still get away with stuff like this. Next was another one of those roadside attractions that gets Lisa giddy like a schoolgirl. First up, the world's largest fork by mass, standing 35 feet tall and weighing 11 tons. Originally built in Springfield, Missouri, it's a quirky roadside photo op that even made a cameo in Chappel Roan's Hot to Go music video. Then, another guest star from that same video was Gary's gay Parita. Built as a faithful replica of a 1930s Sinclair gas station, this spot was lovingly created by Gary Turner, a passionate Route 66 historian who wanted to keep the Mother Road's nostalgia alive. Our next stop was off the beaten path, one of those unplanned detours that truly enrich a road trip. Someone had suggested to Lisa that we check out a place called Red Oak 2, and wow, it was worth it. Founded by the artist Lowell Davis, Red Oak 2 is a recreation of his childhood hometown, complete with restored historic buildings, vintage cars, and quirky roadside Americana. It's like stepping into a living museum where every structure has a story, from an old general store to a classic 1920s gas station. Once again, this was one of those stops we didn't plan for, but it ended up being a real highlight. Sometimes the best moments on Route 66 are the ones you never saw coming. Afterward, we made a quick stop to the Boots Court Motel in Carthage. Opened in 1939 by Arthur and Ilda Boots, this motel is a classic example of streamlined, modern architecture, featuring its original neon signage and known for offering a radio in every room. Also in Carthage is the historic 66 Drive-In Theater, which opened its gates in 1949. After closing in 1985, it was restored and reopened in 1998, and in 2003, it was placed on the National Register of Historic Places. Today, it continues to offer a nostalgic drive-in movie experience. Next was the Grand Falls, the largest continuously flowing waterfall in Missouri, with a 163-foot wide chert ledge and a 12-foot drop. This waterfall almost claimed my DJI Mini. For some reason, when it took off, it didn't get its bearings and jostled around for its life before finally figuring out itself. No idea why, but thankfully it didn't fall in the water. Meanwhile, Roman saw a chunk of galena lodged in the rock and decided it was time to go full-on miner mode. Using a larger rock, he chipped it free like he was a real-life Minecraft session. Because of course he did. At this point, there's a tiny corner of Kansas where Route 66 passes through. We stopped at Cars on the Route in Galena, Kansas, home to the real-life truck that inspired Tow Mater from Cars. Right across the street was Luigi's Pitch Stop, which, let's just say, had a Temu version of Lightning McQueen. You'll see what I mean. Then we hit the Eisler Brothers' old Riverton store, originally called Williams Store, which has been around since 1925. This shop serves up handmade, no-frill sandwiches, the kind your best friend's mom would make. While there, we talked with the locals, and Roman rode his little wooden car on the floor of the grocery store. Before leaving Kansas, we stopped at the Rainbow Bridge in Baxter Springs, the last single-span concrete marsh arch bridge on Route 66. Brad Paisley even filmed a segment here in 2012 playing guitar while eating what looked like an Eisler Brothers sandwich. Meanwhile, my drone was repeatedly dive-bombed by territorial birds. Message received. Let's move on. Crossing into Oklahoma, we stopped at the Highway Cafe to see the American Giants, Big Bill and the Big Indian. Originally built in 1963 by Tom Schwartz, the cafe became an iconic Route 66 stop. Now run by Elizabeth Hilburn, she restored the Highway Cafe's neon sign in 2022 to keep this classic stop alive. Next, we swung by Chelsea to walk across the Pryor Creek Bridge, the only unaltered Pratt-through truss bridge left in Oklahoma. No idea what that means? Same, but apparently it's a design that uses triangles or trusses where the diagonal beams slant inward to handle tension, while the vertical ones take compression. More importantly, this bridge carried some of the very first Route 66 travelers from 1926 to 1932, and it's still standing, for foot traffic only, making it a literal walk through history. Next, we swung by Ed Galloway's Totem Pole Park, an unexpectedly restricted roadside attraction in Chelsea, Oklahoma. We had no idea the entire park actually had hours. We just figured the gift shop did. So as Lisa and I pulled in and started setting up my drone, a woman came out to inform us the whole park was closed and we would have to leave. Lisa, ever the negotiator, explained that we are driving 1,500 miles between Illinois and Los Angeles, and this was one of our planned Route 66 stops. The woman took pity on us, probably realizing this was a once-in-a-lifetime trip, and let us walk around to take some quick photos and a video. So big thanks to her. The park itself is a wild, quirky slice of roadside America, built by Ed Galloway, a World War I veteran and folk artist who dedicated his post-war years to creating massive hand-sculpted totem poles and structures out of concrete. His most famous creation? A 90-foot totem pole made from 6 tons of steel, 28 tons of cement, and 100 tons of sand and rock. After Galloway's death, the sculptures began to deteriorate, but thanks to the efforts of the Grassroots Arts Association, the entire site was restored and fully repaired by 2020. It's the kind of eccentric, larger-than-life spot that makes Route 66 so special, and I'm grateful we got the chance to see it, even if we technically weren't supposed to at that time. Finally, we reached one of Route 66's most famous and beloved stops, the Blue Whale of Catoosa. Built in the 1970s, this giant smiling whale wasn't originally meant to be a roadside attraction. It was actually a love story in concrete form, designed by Hugh Davis as a gift for his wife Zelda, who collected whale figurines. What started as a private family retreat quickly became a local swimming hole, with kids and travelers alike sliding down its tail into the water throughout the 70s and 80s. By 1988, the site was closed, and over the years, the once vibrant whale faded and fell to disrepair. Like many other Route 66 landmarks, it might have been lost forever, until the people of Catoosa, along with employees from the Hampton Inn, stepped in to restore it. Now the Blue Whale is back in all of its bright blue glory, welcoming road trippers, families, and nostalgic travelers once again. It's one of those truly iconic Route 66 stops, a weird, wonderful piece of history that somehow makes perfect sense on this road. 200 miles later, we were finally in Tulsa, Oklahoma. To cap off our long and jam-packed day, we found ourselves at the Mother Road Market. Mother Road Market opened in 2018, transforming a 1930s warehouse into Oklahoma's first food hall, thanks to the Lobeck Taylor Family Foundation. Sitting on historic Route 66, it supports local entrepreneurs through Kitchen 66, a business incubator, while also offering diverse eateries, a general store, and even mini golf. Recognized as USA Today's best food hall in 2023 and 2024, it's now a vibrant community hub blending food, history, and local culture. After some delicious brews and grub and a satisfying Route 66 game of mini golf, we finally arrived at our hotel and took a well-deserved rest. Tomorrow would be all about Oklahoma. Listen, I'm just as guilty as the next person for watching videos and moving on, but as a small-time content creator myself, your ability to click and subscribe really helps others find this video. Also, thanks again for joining us as we continue to travel through Route 66, celebrating their 100 years. We're almost halfway through. We'll see you on day 7.